Right folks, it's too hot indoors and I've got my washing machine on. I need a fan on to live in my conservatory. So I'm sat out in my garden doing this. I wasn't going to do a video on this, but I decided, you know what, some people are interested in 3D design, so that's what I do. So what I've got is I've got some references. 1 second. Go. So I've got some points of reference. This is a base for a Chevy Nova Gasser, one of these. I'm working on interior. And the base itself. So what I've done is I've taken the base and I've drawn around it, taken measurements using my calipers. 1 second. Sorry about that, it was a really loud helicopter going past. So I've taken measurements using my calipers of all the key points. Also what I've used as well for reference is this simple base that I took off Thingiverse. You see it printed really bent. Before I started, oopsie daisy, just snapped it. I've taken this simple base off of Thingiverse. So what I've done is based this design here off the measurements from this simple base. So I only needed really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measurements to make the basic shape. And I'll check my measurements against my draw around the Hot Wheels base. I drew around the simple base as well, just to match them up. You can see a couple of differences straight away. If I lay the front and the back, if I lay my simple base over the Hot Wheels base over the simple base, we're not quite as long. We're not in the right place. It's easier if I just show you the two. Now I've snapped a big bit off of it like an idiot. As you can see, it doesn't match up. As well, it's slightly narrower as well. So it doesn't match up, it's slightly narrower. The narrowness makes no difference, just means you can fit fatter wheels. So I've kept it narrow on this design I've got here. The key thing is obviously to drop the ride height from this to its flat, and obviously add some details like the drive shaft area, the bell housing, and the drive and the sort of where the axles go, like I did on that one. And then anything I raise up at either end, I'm going to angle in. You see, on Hot Wheels is very straight, flat edges on everything, like from the suspension-ish to the front end. But I want to get rid of those, so I've put curves on the 55 up here. The light may come in. That's better. So mark the holes centre to centre, so they're in the right place. Same width in from the side, using the calipers again. Things next to do on here with the basic shape is to do these pieces here. So this thickness here, and then sort out this little front lip here. So the way that works is when it clips into the vehicle itself, it doesn't quite meet the back because you've got the rear bumper. So they've got cutouts for the front and rear bumper. I'm going to simplify these and make this tank area that pencil. Make this tank area that distance rather than the further distance, so it will slot into the back bumper, and the same at the front. That's my aim. So not only these holes, but the slots front and back. I'm also going to remeasure this, and I may make it the same for this. To be honest, it doesn't make any difference because you don't often see the base, but if I'm going to put detail on, I'd rather it be the right dimensions, if that makes sense. So, no OneDrive. Someone's also having a barney in their garden. Can't ever do anything. Right, so we need this back piece, 9mm, and then that depth in there should be 4mm. So each one of these squares is a mil. So you ever get stuck for that? Each square is a mil. So that'd be 10mm to there, so 9mm to there. I'm going to get better than that. So lose that for a second. 1.5 high, go 1 high for a second. Nine mil. Back distance is 24mm. Even though I've written down, oh my gosh, man, grammar's great today. Anyway, to that line, wait to that line, let's just double check. Cool. Height wise, 1.5. Come out. 1.5. So the height of this is 1.4. 1.5. I didn't write that bit down because I'm a moron. 1.45 then. Just write that down. Because that, I'm going to be asking myself that again in a second. Height 1.45. Let me just double check. Oh, it is 1.5. I thought it was 1.5. Is what it is. Right, so we got that in. What I'd like to do now, before I join them together, just remeasure, just to make sure. So 24 by 9. It's not 24 though. It's 22. So that 24 measurement is the fat at the fattest point. What you can do is you can take, if you want to shrink something, you can hit the points on either side, like I just did then, and shrink one side down and the opposite side down, like that. So that's that. I'll get the cylinder. Oh, hold the shift key. I'm not showing my keys at the same time because it's just a ball ache, camera wise, and to be honest, alright, so I've dropped that through. This is to make the bit you can put the screws through. So drop that through. Before I select it, I've learnt this cheat last night when I was doing the upper bass. Grab it, copy it, and then dimension wise we're at 444. So let's go 4 and 4. That's brought me off centre, I believe. Yeah, so I'm slightly off centre. I'm going to go minus 0.5 and half it. That's 0.75. No, I want 2.5, sorry. 0.25. There we go, and then spin it round. That one should be 0. Minus 0.25. Sometimes it throws you a right curveball by doing like a 0.2. My mouse isn't sensitive enough. I've got like a fairly decent mouse pad. I mean, it's my logo mouse pad. Right, so I've done that with the 2 circles. Group them together. And we've cut out the hole. That back screw hole's a bit small. Let me go back. In fact, it doesn't matter because well, it sort of does actually. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab that. I'm going to copy it. Ugh. Yeah, it's the right size. It's another measurement I need to write down really. 4x4, that's what I thought it was. So, that'll be fine. Group it together. So this is the bottom, this is the top. So this is the interior part, that's the exterior part. Yeah. So on the interior part, other than that, what I need is these side rails, which on my version are so minuscule it doesn't really make any difference. So let's have a quick look. So normal base height is 0.3. We need like a center finder. Bear in mind, a lot of my measurements are, what's that? 3mm box. High by 3mm. See, what might have happened is the simple version that they've just made it very, very simple. That's why it's slightly smaller. They might have found as well is that for whatever application they've applied it to, that it doesn't work being a full length base. Width for that's 1mm. 1mm. Total height of 3mm. Double check again. By 1mm. Copy it. Sorry about all the sighing. I had a really, really bad day today. Like, brain-wise. Went out on a ride. That was nice. Bike ride. But I'm sure I had conversations that I'm sure I've had with my partner. Apparently I haven't had. So that's always joyous. So we've got the side lips then. I'm going to copy what they've done there with the side lips. Literally just keep them as the sides. What I've noticed as well is if I measure the depth of this, they're running at 2mm for one part of it, and then 1.5mm for the rest of it. My base is currently sitting at 1.5mm, that's currently sitting at 2mm. 1.5mm. So at the front and the back, they've risen it up to 2mm, which I sort of like the idea of that, because if you look at the inside of this base here though, it's hollow all the way across. It does raise up for the rear bumper and for the front axle, so I'm going to do the same. So what I've done here, just double check I'm right to the edge, this dimension there, so yeah, 24, my measurements of the normal base, this is the thing, this is where it comes into measuring and checking and measuring and checking. I've got 30 across that distance, and then you look at the simple base, I got 24 across that distance. So even with so they are considerably off distance-wise in comparison to the standard base. So they if you look at this here, they're well away from the pillar. What needs to happen is the base itself. So this is why I based it on something, or used something as inspiration. I ain't necessarily copying it. That's where we really need to be, dead centre without 30. Problem is though, is if you want wider wheels, or bigger wheels in there, you want a bit of clearance, but I'm not going to go all the way back to there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the difference between the two bases. I'm going to go at 28mm. In fact, I'm going to go at 27mm. Just because, as it is, fitting wheels on these is a bitch anyway. This is the thing about these setups. So, quickly interject from a modelling point of view. You can lower a gasser. Piece of piss. Just bridge across here, and then bridge across here. Flush it all. So bridge across here, plastic card. Flush it all, and then you're slammed. The problem is though, is you can't put bigger wheels or really any wheels then on the front because of the way the axle works out. So what you have to do is you have to remove I always remove this master cylinder. I think it's a master cylinder. We had this conversation the other day on another. I then want to remove all this inner fender. Oh, sorry, this area here to flush with the hood. I have in the past taken it all the way back, so it's all totally gone. So what I'm saying there, because I've got fat old fingers, is that, let's get focus. There we go. Is to lose this material here all the way through. Obviously it's raised. If you take this raised piece off, you can get slightly bigger wheels, but it's nice to take the whole lot off. And what I tend to do is you can use a Dremel with a very, very small cut-off wheel, but you have a habit of banging into everything around here. Not cut-off wheel, well, you can with a cut-off wheel bend it all out, or use a very, very small grinding wheel, which I've done before as well. Or the other thing, which is takes equally about the same amount of effort and time, is with a decent file, like a square file, just square file space all the way along, break the bits off and then file it flush. So I did on the last couple builds I did. So that has to go anyway. So you got that's really the only main modelling task or work task to do on it. Just is how it is. I'm gonna not cheat, but I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. So I've cloned it. I've made a clone. I'm gonna half it, 1.5. Then I'm going to drag it the entire distance. Spin round. My screen is very dusty. Sorry about that. So what I've done there is I've made the base now. That back bit, that middle bit, sorry, the dimensions I want. So we've got back bit of dimensions I want. We've got middle bit dimensions I want. Now we need front bit of dimensions I want. Again, back to this base here. This is one of the first things I printed off when I got my printer. You see, we end short where we need to bit off. The other modelling bit is to take these axles off and the exhaust, but that's relatively easy. So we're ending, let's grab this. So this base is ending right here where this big square piece is. But then you've got continuation on then, you've got that extra piece on. So you've got another 3mm and then it's 19mm wide on the front. Give me a block. We're going to go 1.5 high as well. And then we're going to go 3mm. Get out. 19 wide. 19 wide. That was easy. I've gone with 19. Couple of reasons. Just double check that's right. This tool here is quite handy. So we're 19. If you want the centre point, it gives you a centre point here. Double check. So this adds a few more lines in. I'll double check it's centered, because your eyes play tricks on you, obviously. So if we look at it, let's get rid of all the jazz and the doohickeys. Yeah, we're fine. Join that on as well. There you go. We've got the interior. Super basic base. And then we've got, obviously, on this one, we've got that 1.5mm high step where they've increased the height. Just double checking one second. Look at this. Yeah, so they've gone to 2mm thickness there with the step. I'm not gonna. I might do. No, I'm not. Yeah, I will actually. The problem with that is obviously I've got to go backwards and then relayer all of this again, or I can do this select the whole object, copy it, yeah, drag it over here. Just undo it once. I don't know how far I drag it over, so I can drag it straight back. Drag it over here. So 39 to go back. Yeah, so on this version, it raises up about here, and it rises up from here. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to remove this. Remove. Yeah, everyone with me so far? Zero. -1, sorry. Cool, so we're in exactly the same place, yeah? Everything lines up. 2 seconds. So this sometimes happens when you move stuff about. You can never get it. Right, so I want an extra mil in height of 0.5 mil. It's gone up 1 mil. Oh, God. That flipping happens all the time. This gives you your top height there, 1.5 mil, yeah? Zoom around, have a quick look. 5 mil. See what it's done here on my holes. So it's affected my holes. So if I go 1.25, they've joined up, right? Then I clone it again. .25. There we go. So I've got no gaps or anything like that. I've got 3 mil at the highest point. On this, and we've got 2 mil at the lowest, so we got 2 mil at the lowest and 3 mil at the highest. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Combine it all together. Bosh. So I've got that little raise in there. Brings the wheels up again, further into the body. And then, obviously in your standard Hot Wheels car, they've got these little blocks. And this person here's done something very, very similar. With these, I'm going to do something slightly different. First of all, though, you need to measure in how far in it starts. So we're at 17 mil for the back, and need the highest point. 1 second. 7 mil from the front. I love when I do that. 1 second. Sorry about that, my daughter just woke up for a nap. So what I've done is I've made this box 15mm. Okay, that takes into account that the far side of where I'm going to put the axle is going to be 17mm. So what I'm going to do, it's a dog barking now, of course there is. Keep that the same width. Down to 1. Yeah? Everyone with me so far? Bring it up. So it's proud of the surface. Like that. Everyone still with me? Copy. Move it across 2mm. Yep. I'm gonna cheat here. I say cheat, I'm not really gonna cheat, it's not exactly cheating. Grab that. If anyone knows any easier ways to do things than what I'm doing, if I'm making people shout at their computer in rage because I'm crap at it, I do apologise. No, I want that 19.5, mate. It does that sometimes to me. I have no idea why. It is 19.5. Swine. 19.25 it is then. That's because I'm taking it from the wrong end. I want to take it from this end. 2 seconds. I can't see a thing because the sun's... It's in move. There we go. Bloody weather. Right, it's because I've got the rulers. There is no Microsoft account problems, by the way. Do you know what? So when you put the ruler tool on, you can't nudge things in from opposite corners by changing the dimensions like I did before. So what you need to do is move it yourself. Okay, so we got those two there. Get an angle so I can grab both of those without touching the base. Didn't like that, did it? That centre tool's coming off in a second because it's bugging me now. It's good so you know all your dimensions. I'm going to copy both of those. I'm going to sling them down this end out of the way for a second. So those two are there. Same distance from each side basically, or nigh on. Yeah? So that's the back end. What did I say the front end was? 5, I think. 6, 5, 4. They're not grouped together again now, are they? Because I've ungrouped them. You have to bear with me for a second. Computers and me are not strong friends, for obvious reasons. Computers are gits. Six, 5, 4. Look at the axle in comparison to the hole. So I'd say So we should be 6mm from the front, which we are. And then my 2 axle points. And that's it, that's a basic base made. Let's wait for it to combine it all together. Other than that, next thing to do, not red, any colour but red. We'll go grey, there we go, we can see it then. So that's my basic base made. Dimensions should be all, fingers crossed, about spot on. Let's whip this over, 180 it. Cool. Front, back. Yeah. Other things we need to quickly jump on here with. You need a dry shaft. Hold down shift obviously means that you can when you alter a dimension, it alters all the dimensions. Right, I'm gonna do what Hot Wheels do, so to speak, which is to avoid any detail near the hole. We want to go, just gonna turn off the ruler because it's gonna piss me off otherwise. Me trying to lengthen the world's longest drive shaft. I need to go a bit 32, 34, 35 I do. So okay, so we got where our drive shaft's going from there, and then we need cylinder again. I'll just use the one I've got. Drag it to one side a sec. Widen it out. Oh, you're joking. I hate when that happens. My internet's died as well. I am too far from my box. Alright, well I'll come back when I'm indoors, once I've got internet. Sorry about that folks, I'm now indoors in the kitchen. If you hear stuff, we're having lunch and the baby's having a cough. And your pumpkin. She's just trying to drip a chili heat wave Dorito into a yogurt. You know, we've all been there. So, like a baby. Anyway, I didn't show you me importing this into a Cheetah box purely because I've got stuff on there on my fat computer for new projects, coming up projects, and you ain't allowed to see them yet. So all I've done is duplicate twice, put the most important bits on, just show where it is. Just going to select both, go to supports, platform support both of them, and then I'm going to go around and manually support in a couple of extra areas, purely because I find that the auto supports are okay, but areas you're going to get fails on, especially on this. Are areas that come to an edge. Oh, house is a little bit. I've also done this back to front, and I'll have to show you why in a second. I've accidentally done this the wrong way round, but I'll show you why in a second. Right. Right, it was as easy as that. Not difficult at all. Yeah, it didn't take. All of these tries. to get it right. So yeah, I didn't video it all. I only videoed up until I'd finished the first design, including the primered ones, which I thought I had spot on. Then I offered them up with the interior and they wouldn't fit. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds of printing to get to where we are now, which is it's a bit crazy, but is what it is. It fits. So that one's slightly off in a couple of places. Oh, the camera's there. Slightly off in a couple of places. It's not straight underneath. I mean, it fits perfectly well. The wheels are in there. It rolls. There's no binding. So compare it to a full plus that's got real rifle. Just grab one. Compare it to a non-lowered one. It's a huge difference there straight off. So yeah, that's it. That's how it came out. It took 5 rounds of printing and tweaking to get a working base. And I could have just printed the one that was on Thingiverse, which I used as a reference point. I could have used that and it fit perfectly well. I've had to modify the interior and the base, interior and the bodywork in the same way. All I did was take a round emery bit and round out the inner wheel wells to enable the wheels to roll. Those are the set of smaller wheels. That's the sort of look I quite like on them though, with the slightly smaller wheels on there. Helps drop it even more. It is scrapingly low. Just grab a flat surface that's about the same height because my camera tripod stand is broken. And yeah, I'll rejig and I'll show you it rolling in a second. But yeah, it came out spot on. I knew it would come out fairly good. I knew it'd take a couple of attempts. I was overexcited on the first attempt. I thought that's the ones that are primed. I thought, yeah, nailed it the first time. So these are the 2 first. I've got the silver one. This is the first print out. If you take a cursory glance at it, nothing. It doesn't look too bad. The holes are wrong. I measured the centre wrong, so they're way out. Also, this bit is longer than that bit. And you think, oh, right, that bit's longer than that bit. And then you look at the back and you think, hang on a sec, it's not longer than that bit. This whole thing is wrong. So this bit is longer than that bit, but then the distance here and the distance here is 0.25mm out. So it throws it. And you look at the back, the top piece and the bottom piece, different lengths. So sometimes on Tinkercad, it's probably a way to do it. I don't know how to do it. I found that I can't get stuff centered in line, so what I have to do is make a wall, so like 1mm wide by like 20mm long, and butt it up against one side and then the other, try and measure distance. The problem with this base is obviously the bits at the front and the back are different lengths, so different heights, as you can see. This is my final version with a bit more of a recess here for the rear screw. It's very, very thin material. Problem with these is, and I don't tend to drill, I don't tend to tap and screw my bases, so it doesn't really matter for me. You'd have to screw them in quite carefully then. Resin prints are quite brittle in that flat form. They also have a tendency to curl slightly, so that's something you sometimes get and see as well, especially on thin, long sheets. So what I might have to do is put a couple of braces along the top. I'm going to make a couple up and stick a couple on eBay and see what people think of them first. And then I may refine them at some point. But for what they are, for the amount of effort, I mean, it's 11 o'clock at night now. I started just before lunchtime out in the garden doing the design stuff. So it's taken 10 hours, 9 hours. Each print took an hour. That's like 40-50 minutes fiddling about. So man hour wise, probably about 5 hours in total from the printing. So yeah, so each print costs about £1. because they're quite big and you can only fit 2 on the print bed, which is handy because I would have wasted more resin if I printed 4 at a time. So yeah, so it took £5 worth of actual resin to get to the stage we are now, not including the ones that are finished. So yeah, there's some misconceptions about resin printing. There's some misconceptions going around at the moment. I keep on seeing things. I don't want this to be a random video, but you know me, if you watch enough of my stuff. Some misconceptions about how much something's worth. If I wanted to charge, this was a one-off, right? And someone wanted a lowered gasser base, and this was it, and they wanted the files to it. I couldn't sell it or anything like that. Even if I paid myself minimum wage, £8, whatever it is. So say I paid myself £8.50, which I think is actually under minimum wage. I paid £8.50 for 5 hours worth of work, plus the £5 for the resin. Do you know what I mean? You're at £50, and then you sell something at £4 or £5. Like these, I'll do in packs of 2. Same with the actually let's jam that on there as well, because we're nearly done with this. A few more decals to go, and that one's done as well. And with a 55 gasser lowered. I'm going to be selling these in pairs of bases. I'm going to do a load of cars as well, and sell them as well. But yeah, no one's going to pay £55 for that. So this is the thing about print. People think that people are being greedy and ripping people off when they want, no, 2 bases. How much 2 bases? 6, 8 quid. I don't know. Got to sell. Even if they were £5, I've got to sell 10 lots. Not, but every time each lot costs another £1. Do you see what I mean? So I've got to sell 20 lots, 15 lots, sorry, to make your money back and your hours back. So yeah, people don't make these things or do these things because they think they're going to get rich real quick. It's the same as cast stuff. I see someone the other day saying that the white metal Influence of Carnage, like the figures, the copperstone casting ones, North Star cell, are a bit expensive for what you get. I mean, well, at less than £8, not including postage, for 5 unique sculpts. People are weird, man. People are weird. Anyway, buy what you want. I buy from loads of different people because I like the look of it, or someone said it. The cost is irrespective on that. Some stuff turns out to be they're the risks you take sometimes, that sort of stuff. But anyway, totally enjoyable project. Thought I'd show everyone what goes into the design a little bit. Some people don't understand it, I suppose. But yeah, good little video, I think, anyway. It's been my Wednesday video this week, which is tomorrow. Got an unboxing video this week as well, which I'm super looking forward to, which I'm about to film now. So anyway, peace. Treat each other well.